Seems like I've always been interested in science. It was always, sometimes the only part of school I did well in. Handwriting was definitely not it, but my parents always had a lot of materials around, stuff to read, so I always read a lot, and I really liked science fiction. I had a pastor in our church that was into scuba diving and sailing, and he taught me scuba diving and sailing, and sort of got me into, that was that point I thought I'd do marine biology, which was not too usual for a kid growing up in Fargo, North Dakota. Yes, where the movie was actually named after but not filmed. And at that point, when I was 17, mostly because I'd had enough of the weather, which is pretty bad, I moved to California, went to Los Angeles, maybe not the best move I'd ever made, but I spent a couple years there at the University of Southern California, good football games anyway, and then decided that it'd be best to move someplace a little more like I was used to, which is up in Santa Barbara, which is I'd highly recommend. Finished out, but interestingly enough, I got to my junior year and realized I didn't really like, at least the way marine biology was taught then. And the way it was done, I think, for the most part, was very descriptive, kind of like the old style biology in general. And I liked to get my hands into the guts of how things work. And at that time, that was what you call molecular biology, molecular genetics, and biochemistry. And so I changed to biochemistry. My dad wouldn't pay for a fifth year, so I had to work as a carpenter, but worked my way through the fifth year, and I got a job in biotech up in the Bay Area, which was a lot of fun, in a startup company, and then realized at that point, after not being broke for a while, I thought I could stand going back to school, but actually really wanted to be able to decide what I wanted to do for my research, and that's when I went to a graduate program and went to University of California, Davis, and got my PhD in biochemistry. Then went to San Diego and continued in a similar area of work, which was to look at how genes are expressed, how RNA is transcribed, but how it's regulated, and that's how I got into the role of chromatin structure stuff. And then after that, I was lucky enough to kind of pretty much go full circle, because what I didn't say at the beginning is I was born in Cheyenne and before I moved to Fargo. And people in Cheyenne always wished they lived in Fort Collins. And I got a job in Fort Collins as a faculty member, and I've moved up the ranks through assistant, associate, full professor, and having a great time.